All right. Good morning. I'd like to call everyone to order on the Telephonic Planning and Construction Committee meeting for Tuesday, May the 12th, 2020. The time is 11:01. Notice of this meeting was provided to the Secretary of State as required by Texas Government Code. Please note the audio of this meeting is being broadcast live. Before we take the roll call, would everybody please mute your phones unless you need to speak? And we have a short agenda today, so let's get started. Laura, let's begin the roll call with the regents.
Sure. Thank you. Regent Scott.
Present.
Regent Montaigne.
Here.
Regent Austin.
Present.
I believe we also have a couple of other regents. Regent Flores.
Here.
And Regent Harrell.
Present.
And do we have any other regents on the call?
Student Regent McCall.
Thank you.
Very well. Thank you, Laura. Now, can we have the roll call of the system administration representatives?
Sure. Chancellor McCall.
Here.
Daniel Harper.
Here.
Sean Cunningham.
Here.
Do we have other system representatives on the call?
Yeah, Peter Moss.
Thank you, Peter. All right.
All right, Laura, now can we have the component representatives?
Okay. Lamar University.
Ken Evans, Jeremy Altop.
Thank you.
Catherine Miller.
Thank you, Catherine. Sam Houston.
This is Carlos Hernandez for San Francisco State University.
Thank you. Sol Ross.
Leo Dominguez.
And I know we have Leo Dominguez on the line, and we have Chris Clifford. I don't know if we have anyone else.
Okay.
Rob Kanukin.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, thank you. Texas State.
Denise Trouth here, along with Eric Algo and Lisa Lloyd.
Thank you, Dr. Trouth. LIT.
Lonnie Howard and Bonnie Albright.
Thank you. Lamar State College Orange. Oh, I'm sorry. Do we have someone else from LIT?
No, just Lonnie and Bonnie.
Okay. Lamar State College Orange.
Tom Johnson, Wendy Elmore, and Mary Wickland.
Thank you. And Lamar State College Port Arthur. I know we had President Renard. You might be muted.
Yeah, Betty Renard and Mary
And
Wickland.
Mary. Okay, thank you. That concludes roll call.
We've had to do it.
Okay, thank you. Before our call, Daniel and I had an opportunity to review the agenda. At this time, I'll turn the meeting over to Daniel, who will present the Planning and Construction Committee agenda items. We have 4 items today.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you said earlier, we have a short agenda for today. We have 1 design development document. We have our annual CIP, our routine quarterly construction report, and then we have 1 consent item to add a project to the current CIP. The first item is on page 244 of your materials and is the Texas State University design development documents for the Round Rock Campus Services Building. This project contemplates construction of a new structure on the Round Rock campus. The building will house support services such as UPD, IT, mail, and also includes storage. It's around 10,000 square feet for a total project cost of $6.2 million and will be funded with excess bond proceeds from the 2017 series and auxiliary funds. Following the motion is the information which includes the renderings, the floor plans, and the detailed cost estimate. And at this time, I'd ask Dr. Trout to provide some comments.
Well, I think you have summed it up very well. I would just add that by building this building, this allows us to move the existing support staff that are already in Round Rock out of the academic buildings on this campus. And what that does then is it frees up space for 2 more of our health professions programs to move from San Marcos campus to the Round Rock campus.
Thank you, President Trout. Chairman Scott, this concludes the presentation on this item. And open the floor.
Very good.
Sir.
Yeah, are there any questions from the regents? If there are no questions, is there any objection to moving this item to the full board? If there is no objection, we'll move this to the full board. Go ahead, Daniel.
Thank you, Chairman. So the second item is on page 322, and it is the TSUS Capital Improvements Program for fiscal year 21 through 26. Before the committee is the annual update to the capital improvement program. It's a 6-year forecast of capital project needs across the system. It includes new construction as well as renovation projects with a total project cost of $1 million or greater. If approved, the CIP will be $1.1 billion, which is slightly down from the last approved of $1.3 billion. And of importance to note is that half of the projects are funded with tuition revenue bond proceeds. If you turn to page 326, you'll find a summary by institution, year, and funding source. As I mentioned, $551 million would be funded through future tuition revenue bond issuances. That includes the Library and Digital Learning Center at Lamar, the Allied Health Building at Sam Houston, an academic building at the Middle Rio Grande campuses for Sol Ross, and an arts complex in Alpine. It includes 2 projects for Texas State, a building in Round Rock, as well as a building in San Marcos. And then for the state colleges, includes a workforce training center at LIT, an academic building at Orange, and an allied health building at Port Arthur. It also includes $140 million of HEAF funds, which is mainly for renovations over the years, $50 million in auxiliary funds for smaller projects and renovations, $154 million of projects that would be funded through our revenue financing system, additional bond proceeds, and then $158 million of projects identified to be funded with gifts. A high level of each of the projects for this can be found on page 329. And Mr. Chairman, this concludes the presentation on the CIP.
Okay, do any regents have any questions on Daniel's presentation?
They'll just
Yeah, this is
comment.
Duke.
I guess we'll hope
Sorry.
the economy bounces back and we'll get some TRBs one day.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I guess. Sorry, this is Duke. I guess with the, as David said, with the COVID and things like that going on, I mean, I assume we take all that to account at some point when we look through it all. I mean, everybody's having to adjust, so then we'll adjust as well if needed.
Yes,
that's
sir.
right. Obviously, we don't execute these until we get the TRBs, but our chancellor hasn't done his magic at the Capitol yet, so we'll hold off to find out whether we're successful on that. If there are no objections, then I would say we move this to the full board. Any objections? If there are none, it goes to the full board. Go ahead, Daniel.
Thank you, sir. The next item is an informational item and does not require a vote. It is the TSUS Planning and Construction Report. Again, this is the quarterly report that's presented to the board that that highlights the construction activities across the system. And as we've kind of reported in the past, we are around right now just shy of $500 million of active construction projects in the 3 phases of planning, design, and then true construction. And this is again down from our peak of $1.2 billion following the last issuance of tuition revenue bonds. And this includes a status report of every project with a total project cost greater than $1 million. And Mr. Chairman, that concludes my presentation on the quarterly report.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from anyone on the board? Very well. Daniel, why don't you move forward with the 4th item?
Yes, sir. So the last item is for the consent agenda, and it is the addition of a project to the current CIP, and this would add for Texas State University the Bear Hall Fire Safety and HVAC project with a total project cost of $1.9 million to be funded with housing reserves. And that concludes my update on the consent item.
All right. President Trout, would you like to make any comments on this last item?
Well, certainly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you and I discussed yesterday when I was briefing you, this is, it is admittedly an older residence hall, but it is still in use, and we want to continue to use it. But we can only use it if it's safe for our students. It is very, very central campus. It's right in the heart of campus. It's very close, actually, to the president's house. So it is a building that we want to continue to use, and so putting almost $2 million into it makes sense to us.
Very good. Any questions from the regents? If there are no questions, is there any objection that we move this to the full board? Without objection, we'll move it to the full board.
Well, Mr. Chairman, with that, this concludes, my presentation of the Planning and Construction Committee agenda.
Very well. Well, thanks everyone for calling in. And unless there's some further discussion, this will conclude our telephone meeting today. For the record, the time is 11:14. I think this breaks the record, Daniel. So we look forward to seeing everybody at our virtual board meeting next week. Thank you.
Thanks,
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.